Nini everyone, Zabora here. Today we are going to be talking about Ra and his actual roles in Egyptian mythology versus the bullshit that the Order spews. So Ra is a very funny character in Egyptian mythology. He's very aloof. He very much is the king of the gods in a lot of takes. And his heyday, the time that he reigned the most high, would have been like early dynasties. By the fifth dynasty, we know pharaohs were calling themselves the sons of Ra. But originally, Egypt was a divided land. You had the north and the south. Ra ruled one of them, and the Setian animal ruled the other one. And they were constantly at war until we have King Naaman, I think. No, maybe it was Dozer. God, I get him so confused. He united Egypt into one land, and it was a huge hunk of land. It extended far down into the Blue Nile and into Nubia. So basically, that's the time when the sun god reigned supreme, and that's what Ra means. Ra is just the word for the sun in ancient Egyptian. Okay. So, while he can overhaul your life and dramatically change it for the better, he prefers to send his messengers to do it. He doesn't like to directly interfere, although he will, but he is very much about that Ma'at, that truth order in the Egyptian way. His favorite daughter is Ma'at. She is the most beloved of Ra, and she's all about that truth and order. So to say that Ra is going to just interfere and crush all your enemies and provide all these opportunities for you, he doesn't do that. He's extremely fair. It's painfully fair at times, but he's not one to just fork over whatever the fuck you want, okay? He's a divine parent. He wants you to improve. He wants you to be better for yourself. So that is who Ra is, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of different references here. So, there's this story about Ra, and he's traveling in his solar bark, okay? Now, at this point, Set had just carved up Horus's eye. And Isis screams. And her scream is so powerful, it's filled with so much magic and anguish that it stops Ra in his bark. And you can't challenge Ra like that with magic. It's just inappropriate. And Ra saw that as a challenge. So, in order to prevent his power from being challenged, he sent Tahuti to go and heal Horus. He's like, nope, you gotta go and help her because she's obviously become too strong for me and we cannot have this, so you gotta go and help him. So he does get selfish on occasion, okay? But the point is, he sends a messenger to do his work. Here's another example. When him and Tefnut quarreled, Tefnut ran to Nubia. And after a time, Ra missed his eye very much, and he sent Tahuti to go and retrieve her from Nubia, because Tefnut is one of the eyes of Ra. Here's another example. When humanity offended Ra, Ra sent forth his eye, who burned away and became Sekhmet, and slaughtered everybody. She became the pure rage and bloodlust of war and destruction. He doesn't do things directly himself. So while he can crush your enemies, while he can silence someone, he's not really interested in doing those things for you. He wants you to do them yourself. And if you can't do it yourself, he will send a helper. He himself will probably not be the one interfering. So, why would he cause someone to become terminally ill? Well, he wouldn't. Again, Ma'at. He believes in truth, order, and the Egyptian way of life. He's not going to cause harm to you, especially if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Can bring confusion to an individual or group of people. Nope. Can make any spell you do or create far more powerful. Only if it's in line with Ma'at. Only if it's in line with his will. Again, he doesn't really do that. I mean, you would really have to be a follower of his. You would probably have to have a very good relationship with him. You can't just start demanding these things of these deities, okay? He can shield you from ridicule. Well, I guess you don't have a relationship with Ra because here I am ridiculing you in a public forum. Can bend anyone to your will. Well, why don't you just go ahead and try that, sweetheart? Appearance and character. Gender, male. Again with this 7 feet tall. I don't know where you're getting these numbers. Do you just like the number 7? Because you have a demon in here called the 7th demon or whatever. That's supposed to be the mother. Or maybe it's a father. I don't know. I can't follow your logic. Golden tan skin, honey-colored eyes, and dark hair. So did you know that Ra doesn't have hair? I'll show you a picture. There you go. Chiseled face, tall and muscular. Yeah, I guess you could call a falcon head chiseled. I guess you could call Khepri, the beetle-headed god, chiseled. Because that's one of his manifestations. Ra has 75 different manifestations. I guess you could call Amun chiseled. But at that point, Atum, not Amun, Atum. Atum is an old man. But sure, that walking stick of his sure is chiseled. Intimidating, powerful presence make you have a loss for words. Well, I've never been in any kind of ritual where I've met Ra or had any kind of interactions with him, so I have no idea. But I'm sure he can be pretty intimidating. He has a royal presence, wears gold calf-length skirt wrap around, no shirt, elaborate gold headdress, and jewelry. So, Ra has one of the simplest headdresses there is. It's just the sun disk with the uraeus, the serpent upon her father's brow. That's it. It's one of the simplest ones they have. It's a circle and a snake. Does that fucking look elaborate to you? Did you guys just not even look at any of Ra's crowns before you wrote this? I'd also like to point out that you guys forgot the bullwhip tail on a lot of your deities here. That tail, that bull tail, is a symbol of pharaonic power, and it's associated with the Apis bull and Ptah. So that was something that was worn by a lot of the pharaohs as well as the male gods. They would wear that bull tail. I'm just surprised you guys have forgotten about this. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, like, I'm just saying, you know, it's easy to see you didn't do your research. So, offerings. Blood. No, we've already gone over that. You don't give blood to gods, okay? See, in ancient times, people would go to temples to worship. They wouldn't keep statues and stuff like that in their homes unless they were of the higher classes, you know, the middle class or the rich class. Peasants and stuff would have to go to temples and make offerings. So you wouldn't bring blood into the temple, okay? Just like you wouldn't have sex in the temple. You're pushing your pendant again. I get that. Public proclamations. Oh, that definitely did happen. People would get up at sunrise, raise their hands up to the sky god, Ra, and say like Dua Ra, which is Hail Ra, give praise to Ra in the morning. But that was just like a normal thing. Offerings, precious metals, sure, I guess, if you want to go that route. He's more of a traditionalist, in my opinion, so I would be giving things like water, milk, bread, not so much sweets. I would maybe do a salad, or some beans, or something like that for him. Green jasper, jade. I'm sorry, do you know where these stones come from? I don't think you do. Gold. Well, gold was given to every deity. Unusual pottery. Why? Why would you give a weird-looking pot to Ra? What purpose does that serve? Body oil. Okay. No. You can, but I would have dedicated that to, like, Nefertim, who is god of beauty and sense, or maybe I would dedicate it to Hathor, as she's the goddess of beauty. Lapis lazuli. Well, the god's hair is said to be made of lapis lazuli. Knotweed. Pretty sure that's an American thing. Cannabis. Pretty sure that's a Chinese thing. Although, I guess you could give it to him. I don't think Ra's that into it. Acacia. Yeah, acacia is fine. Black obsidian. If you want to. Sculptures. The only sculpture I would give Ra would be Ma'at. Just like the only sculpture I've ever given Sekhmet was Ma'at. Because they're both champions of justice, truth, and order. Colors. Egyptian blue, azurite, and indigo. Wow, you would think the sun god would have had sun colors like red, orange, and gold. But nope, they latched onto this Egyptian blue color and that's what they're running with. I'll have you know that typically the falcon that is depicted in Egyptian blue is Horus. Scents. Coffee, sandalwood, tobacco, citrus, rose, jasmine. Yes to jasmine, yes to sandalwood. Not once did you mention Kapet, though. The ancient Egyptian compounded incense that was unique to them and burned in their temples. See, they would burn frankincense. Then in the next ritual, they would burn myrrh. And then at the night ritual, they would burn Kefi, or Kapet. Kefi's the Greek word. Kind of surprised you didn't include any of that stuff. No, I'm not. Just shows the ignorance upon your on your part there. Okay? Now, I'd also like to talk about this here. Why in the fuck would the sun god have a scorpion for his sign? You know, Selket is a scorpion god. And she may be a daughter of Ra, but she is not Ra in his entirety. If you're gonna go with bug, like I said, you should have gone with Khepri, the dung beetle, because at least he's related to Ra as a manifestation. That's it for tonight, guys. Synapte.